And we are live. I figured I'd start a little early, a whole minute, so you're welcome about that. Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your weekend. My name is Chris. This is my channel, We Love Comics. And I got 4 of my comics back from PGX. I actually got them a couple of days ago. Just have a situation that we've had to take care of as far as our house. We have to replace the roof. So that's going to be fun. So our priorities kind of shifted a little bit, but you know, things happen. What are you going to do? But I have the availability to do it now, so I always do this live. So this way there is no editing, there is no trying to make something different than it seems. What I do is show you, open it right in front of you in the live cam, unwrap it, check out the grades, which I don't know about because I don't learn the grades until I open it, so I see it exactly when you do. And I tell people, you know, the significance of the book, the price I paid for the comic at the time I bought it, what I predicted the grades would come out. And keep in mind, these always get pressed and dry cleaned. Anything with signature verification they do at PGX in-house. Same thing with the pressings, which is a beautiful thing because there are plenty of companies that grade books that do the pressings, but they don't do them in-house, so you're shipping it from one place to another, and that causes more chances of maybe your books getting lost or damaged because, you know, they're taking them out of the box that you sent them in, they're unwrapping them, they're checking them, they're pressing them, and they have to repackage them and resend them somewhere else. So when you're going with a company that does everything in one place, it reduces a lot of risk. Now, PGX may or may not be for you. You may or may not have tried them. I am not here to tell you what to do. I am here to just tell you my views from them, to give my honest reviews, and then to present it live and let you make your own decision. Now, always I give a full disclosure before I start the actual unboxing. I do not have any contracts signed with PGX. I will not do that with any company because when you sign a contract, you're more likely obligated to have to say something positive. Otherwise, you won't be able to do or get a product from a company. I talked to Daniel Patterson years ago. I've been doing this for over 5 years at this point. Told him about that. He had no problem with it. He prefers people to be honest. He's the only person I really deal with as far as businesses. He's given me my number, his number. That'd be interesting if he gave me my number. I'd wonder how he got it. But we've had communications for years. I mean, how many businesses can you actually talk to the owner of the company, have conversations, and actually listen to the customers? I appreciate that. So the deal I have benefits them, benefits me, and I'll tell you how it also benefits you. Because I get 4 books that I'm allowed to send in every month. I pay for the shipping and everything, but they will take care of the grading, the pressings and dry cleanings, signature verifications if need to be. And also, thanks to my recommendation to Daniel Patterson, you can also get the greatest notes on the back of the book. It's a $5 charge if you want to get them done, but I like it. It shows, you know, right there on the spot what's wrong with the comic. So especially if you're selling your comics, you know, many grading companies, even if you have, you know, I've seen videos where somebody got like a 7.5 on a book, and I won't say what company it is, but they didn't get any graders notes at all, even when they paid for them, and they go on the website and they're not there. So then it's going to be harder to sell it because people may not know what the problem is. So you may or may not like that. That's up to you. Now, what is the benefit for you guys? Well, the benefit for PGX is, you know, I'm doing the advertising. It may get 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 people to try them out or use them or continue to use them. If you've never used them, give them a try. They are the cheapest of the 3 major companies. They are the quickest because, as you can see, these 4 books I sent in about a month and a half ago. I do not pay for a speedier, you know, shipping or anything like that. And I get them back all the time within approximately 90 days. No, I'm sorry, not even 90 days. About a month and a half. That's the average. Sometimes even quicker than that. They always come. I've never, knock on wood, and I'm banging the top of my skull, they have never arrived damaged. Now, keep in mind, I do this every month, and I've been doing it live for about 5 years, and never once has any of the comic cases ever been cracked or damaged. So that says something about their cases, and it also says something about how they package. So like I said, they also do the in-house pressings and dry cleanings. They do signature verification. One other of the grading companies does not do that at all. So if you have a book that's already signed, all you're going to get is a green qualified label, which I've shown on many occasions that can reduce the amount of money that you can get to sell them. If you watch my auctions, you've seen I've sold many of my PGX books for extremely competitive to the other grading companies as far as what I can sell them for. So the people that say, oh, you cannot sell a PGX comic, I don't understand why they say that, but I've done it for years. Now, what's the benefit for you guys? If you ever want to use PGX, I don't make any commission off it. I don't make any money off it, so I don't promote this stuff for that, because I told Daniel Patterson when I first did this, I wanted to do this deal with them, and by the way, like I've said all the time, I also contacted CBCS and CGC. They never responded. PGX was the only one that responded back in the day when I asked about this. But I said to them, you know, I want to make sure my subscribers get something out of it too, because it doesn't benefit you guys if you get nothing from it. So if you look in the description of this video or any of my videos, and if you ever try and use PGX, whether you use them or not, that's up to you. But if you send 10 or more books to PGX and use the code We Love Comics Free Press, they will press one for free. And if you want to use the grader's notes added to the back of the book, like I said, it's $5 per charge. I think that's worth it in my opinion. You can also get them for free. They'll email them to you if you don't want to pay, which is fine. But if you use the code We Love Comics, Grader's Notes, $5 per book, you can have them directly onto the back of the slab. So we got all that stuff out of the way. Let me put on the video camera. So here is the box. It has not been opened yet. I do this live on every video because, you know, there are people out there on the internet that will take things out of context and edit videos and make things, you know, different from what they seem. And to me, that is very disingenuous, especially to people who watch a channel and rely on what they say. And me, integrity means a lot. So it comes with, they've actually improved the bags that you put your comics in. It used to be ones which, honestly, I did not like. That for some reason, like, they were cut halfway, and it wouldn't fit all the way into the book, so it wouldn't overlap the top. They have switched it to the regular Mylar type of bags, and I'll show it because they actually put them inside another bag, so it looks a little cloudy. But these are those clear ones, and they are the full wraparounds with the tapeless tabs. So that is a nice job with them, with the new bags and for the cases, and then they put it in another. So technically, I got 5 of them. So, you know, sometimes if you ever buy a comic from eBay or something, it doesn't come with one of those bags. You have an extra one. All right. So as you can see, they wrap it really well. They even tape extra parts to the side. And like I said, and I'll show it live, knock on wood, none of my books have ever arrived cracked or damaged. And again, when you do it live, you can't hide that stuff. And I wouldn't have, you know, if I saw that, you know, one of the good things about doing it on video is, you know, no one can say, oh, you cracked it on your own or something, because it's showing it right there. So these are 4 books. I do not know the grades. All right, I see the back of the book, which is good, because I don't want to see the grades. So they also, which to me I think is extremely important, that I don't think anybody else does, they also wrap them in the cellophane, so they do not move in the package, because you know how it is when you send something through the mail. How many boxes have you received from any company that arrive damaged? These things are made of plastic. If they move all around, that's what increases the chance of them being damaged. So the fact that they take the time to also wrap them in the cellophane keeps them from moving around, which greatly reduces the risk of damage. And that's probably why, in the 5 years that I have been doing this, that not one of my slabs ever arrived damaged. And that's important. Because I've, again, seen many videos from people on other channels where they bought from other companies. They spend a lot more for the grade. It took a lot longer to receive. And then they do a live unboxing or, do an unboxing video only to find out their books, the cases were cracked. Now you have to resend them back. You have to pay for more shipping. It increases the cost of what you paid for your book. And it's going to take another 6 months to a year to get your books back. Again, you do what you want, but I highly recommend don't be a sheep and follow the herd. Do what's right for you. What may be right for everybody else may not be right for you. So getting your books graded, there's different reasons for doing it. You could do it for financial reasons. You could do it because it's just a book that you want to display on your wall. Or maybe it's sentimental value, something you want to preserve for your children or your family or yourself. Sometimes it's not about selling it. So you may want to try them if you haven't tried them. Now, there's plenty of people that talk bad about them online. Many of those people have never used them or had one bad experience. All I'll say is this when it comes to any company. How many companies in your life, no matter how good they are to you or how loyal they are to you, how many times have you had them make a mistake? Companies do that. So, again, I'm not defending them because they do this, because like I said, I do not have a contract, and I will speak the truth as far as my experience, and that's why I do this live. So, we got that out of the way. Let's get the first book. We will do this without showing the grade. I will tell you what I paid for it, the significance, what I thought the grade would come out, and I remember when I predict my grades, I predict what I think they'll be after pressing and dry cleaning. So I'm actually pretty spot on all the time, but every now and then I'm off. So, I'm not a professional grader, but we'll see. All right, so we're starting with the biggest one of the four. I'm just randomly grabbing one. This is Tales to Astonish number 44. This is the first appearance of the Wasp. I had two of these books. I had one that came back last month. Or, no, I have one that's coming next month. So this is the first of the two. They are going to be coming out with the Ant-Man movie soon. We'll see what happens with that. But, when it comes to bigger characters, I can't say Wasp is a huge character. But, this is a Silver Age hero first appearance. So whether the movies do good or not, certain characters, they're always going to hold status. So I'm not worried about that stuff. But I only paid $254 for this book. It's a lower grade book, and like I always say, low grade is better than no grade. So $254. I predicted about a 2.5 to a 3.0 with off-white pages. This is definitely a book to get. It's not a very expensive book, unless, of course, you're talking high grade. So lower grades, like I always say, if you own a 0.5 or a 10.0, you still own it. So you don't always have to get the highest grade, because sometimes lower grades, especially if you need to sell them, you're going to sell them quicker because lower grades mean lower prices, which means more people that could potentially purchase your book. 9.8s, who wouldn't want an Amazing Fantasy 15 at a 9.8? How many people do you know would be able to afford that book? So sometimes the higher grades could make it more difficult. Now, of course, you only need one person to buy something, so it doesn't matter if 1 million people don't want it. If one person does, that's what matters. But you always want to increase the chances. And you could still, I've shown on many occasions that my lower grade books, I could make some very good profit off of them, because it depends on what you paid for them and what you sell them for. So if you bought a 9.8 at $10,000 and you sell it for $11,000, yeah, you made $1,000 profit, but percentage-wise, you didn't do much. If I bought a lower grade book for $50 and sold it for $900, that's not the same amount as far as dollar amount, but percentage-wise, I made a tremendous amount more percentage-wise of profit. So don't always let the high grades fool you that they're always the best. Some people just will not settle for less than that. I wish I could afford 9.8s of this book, but I'll take whatever it is. So let's find out what it is. And thank you to the 6 people so far who have already been kind enough to hit that like button. First grade of the day is a 3.0. So there you go. My prediction was a 2.5 to a 3.0. Let's see. I said off-white. It's cream to off-white, so I was pretty close on that. This, of course, is the origin and first appearance of the Wasp, Death of Vermin Van Dyne. I have no idea who that is, but these days with TV shows and movies, you never know who, some minor character that nobody cared about might show up. I mean, not for nothing, Groot, nobody cared about until Guardians of the Galaxy. So you never know sometimes, but I doubt that character's going to be anything. So 3.0 pressing made it look really nice. Let's go over the graders notes, because like I said, for $5, use the code WeLoveComics graders notes. You can have the graders notes added, and you could see it used to be the PGX.com was in the center, and then they put the graders notes around it, which didn't look good, so they fixed the back. So this way, it's all centered and clean. So great improvement with that. And again, no problems with the case. But let's go over the graders notes. All right, edge chip on front cover. Multiple stress lines along the spine, which to me, that, I've said it so many times, if I'm going to have damage on a book, if I can help it, I'd rather have most of the damage on the spine. Because you can't really see it, especially when you have them encapsulated. So I'm fine with that. But, I mean, I have coverless books. So to me, it's owning the book that matters, not the condition. Buy what you can afford, not to kind of use it like comparison to other people who may have, trust funds and $1 million bank accounts. It's easier for them. It does have significant cover edge and spine damage, which of course that's expected for a lower book. Dirty back cover. So I'll show you that. Whoever had this probably didn't store it properly. But again, it's a little dirty. Sometimes even a dry cleaning can't get everything. The only thing they did not mention, which is not a major big deal because it's not like you can't see it, there is one piece of tape that's right here that goes around to here. So they did not mention that. Usually they'll put that over here, or they'll put it in the graders notes. So they did not mention that. So that is, if you want to think of something negative, that is a negative. But it's not something that's inside the book that somebody wouldn't know about. So easily you can show that to somebody. So it's not a major big deal, but that is a minor error. So we're starting out right. I said about a 2.5 to a 3.0. Normally I do, for example, I'll say 2.5 to 3.5, but I was pretty sure with the condition of this book, it was going to be a little bit closer to what I thought it would be after a pressing and dry cleaning. So very happy with the 3.0, especially after spending $254. I don't know what it currently goes for, but like I tell people all the time, I do not base the value of any kind of investment, whether it's stamps or stocks or comics. I don't base it on where it was. I don't base it on where it is. I base it on where I think it's going. Now, when you have a book with a first appearance of a character who's going to be in a movie, when that movie comes out, I'll ask you this yourself and you can answer it. Do you think A, the book will go down, it will stay the same price, or it will go up? Now, I'm not basing it on after the movie or TV show is out and it ends up being something like She-Hulk that is a train wreck, which can damage temporarily the price of a book. Which, by the way, I refuse to watch She-Hulk. I've seen some of the reviews. I've seen some of the clips. I am not going to put my energy into something that is, well, I'll just say not for me. We'll put it that way. If you like the SJW stuff and the man-bashing stuff, hey, that's your thing. I am not here to judge. But I also feel that my integrity means more than me trying to make money. So I won't even waste my time watching it to do a review, because I don't want to give Disney my business. That's why I unsubscribed from Disney Plus, and I will never buy their product again. And I live in Florida. I will never go to Disneyland. Why would I want to spend my money on a place that, because I'm a straight, white, heterosexual male, that I'm supposedly an enemy? But that's a topic for another time. So anyway, books like She-Hulk right now, that's the best time to buy those books, because most people don't want them, and the price is going to go down. Now, because I tell people all the time, 98% of the people in the world who invest do it the opposite of the way they should, most people will not be buying the She-Hulk books right now. Why? Because the price is going down and nobody wants them. You think that's going to be forever? She-Hulk is, I would say, a B- level character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or just in the Marvel Universe in itself. That book will eventually rebound, especially if one day they do a reboot and actually do it right. So most people do the opposite. They buy things when they're at their peak, and then it only goes down from there, or it might go up a little bit, or it stays stagnant. How many times did I tell people when the Fantastic Four movie, the Fox movie from Fantastic Four, when that did horrible, nobody was buying books. I bought 3 copies of Fantastic Four 48, which all 3 came back 5.0s, for $200 or less, because no one wanted them. People go based on emotion, and they follow what other people do. So most people are selling their She-Hulk books right now, which is ridiculous. Sometimes it's a waiting game, and if you cannot have the patience, you should not be investing. All right, so let's get to the next comic. 13 people hit the like button, so thank you for that. And I got a lot of people in the live chat, so that's great to see. I might be doing another auction soon. I don't know. 2 people backed out. One gave me the message right away, so I understood that one. The other one messaged me, said they were going to send a money order, and I waited patiently. I messaged them a couple of times, and for some reason they just chose to not respond. So that's about $3,000 worth of sales that never formulated. All the other books except one have been shipped, so check out their videos, especially one of my subscribers he'll watch this and he'll comment. Somebody I'm subscribed to, so you can leave a comment in the comment section with a link to your channel. Go watch the unboxing. But I might be doing another auction. I'll keep you informed. So unfortunately, one had to back out, but they told me right away. The second one, which is somebody I believe that ordered from me before, just refused to respond to my messages, and he never paid. Good thing is, the 2 books that did not sell, that they did not buy and pay for, have increased in value. So that's why I tell people all the time, especially when I do a sale, I am not selling books that are on the decline. I'm selling books that are on the incline. And you'll end up spending more. So people think, oh, a book is expensive. Well, if you wait and it's on the uptick, you're going to spend more. I don't understand that logic, especially if you have the funds to be able to do it. I mean, if you don't, it doesn't matter. People have to invest wisely. So I would recommend, if you do not own the first appearance of She-Hulk, now's the time to get it, because the show is doing so poorly that most people are just going to get rid of their books. They see the books dropping in value, so they panic sell, which lowers it even more. That is a buying opportunity. That's why I tell people all the time, by the time a price of a book that you want goes down because it was based on emotion only, when it starts lowering, people don't want it. That's when you buy them up, if you're a smart investor. Selling them when they're going down is ridiculous. You have to hold on to them, and sometimes you just got to say, all right, I got to take a loss. I don't sell my books for a loss. All the auctions I do, I've never made a loss on a book. Do things right, and you'll be happier. All right, so we're doing a lot of sermons today, apparently. All right, so we got Submariner #1. Now, this character is going to be showing his first appearance in the Black Panther movie. So, again, this is a book I bought years ago because I knew this character was coming years before anybody else. Many people did not listen to me because there were people on the internet who were probably jealous of how successful I was getting and how quickly I was getting successful, that made rumors that I was just full of garbage. You know, he who laughs last laughs best. How many books have I been predicting? If you've been watching my channel over the past 5 or 6 years, how many books have I predicted that would go up that have even gone past my expectations? This is another one. So I bought this and several other copies probably back in around 2016, 2017. So I spent a grand total of $75 on this book. Now, this is a mid-grade book. I predicted this one for between about a 5 and a 6.0. I'd be even happy with a 5.0, but even if this came back a 2.0, I'd make money. But this is another book. You still have the chance, and if the movie bombs and the character bombs, Submariner is not a character that's going to go away. This is a Golden Age character. Now, this isn't his first appearance, but this is his first solo story in the Silver Age, his first solo comic book. So, you know, his first appearance is going to be mad expensive because you're talking a book where a 0.5 coverless book would probably cost you 10 grand. So this is one of the next best things to get, especially if you can't afford Fantastic Four #4, which is his first reappearance since the Silver Age. but I predicted a 5.0 to a 6.0. What did I say? Off-white to white pages. Survey says... All right, 6.5. So it did a 0.5 better than I predicted. And again, they did an amazing job in their pressings. Say what you want about PGX. To me, their pressings, they do an amazing job. This is nice and clean. Now, it had a little bit of, not a rolled spine, but it was an off. The cover is off a little bit. That really isn't going to affect the grade unless it's in the 9s. A lot of that is manufacturer error. But they pressed this book nice and flat. So off-white to white pages, what did I say? I said off-white to white, so I was actually right. So for $75, you don't think I'm going to make a profit on this book, even if it is, quote-unquote, only PGX? You got to be smarter when you invest. Don't listen to some of these bigger channels, especially bigger channels that may or may not have a comic book business. Because their job is to uplift and upsell, because they're selling you the very thing that they're promoting. You think they're going to talk bad or talk honestly about something that they're about to sell you? I keep it real. And I'm not pointing out anybody, because I know a bunch of different people that have either a comic book store or an online comic book store or sell comics on auctions on a regular basis. So I'm not singling anybody out. Got to be careful who you get your advice to. You may like a person or dislike a person because you don't agree or you agree with their personality, but do things for yourself. I have shown, because as they say, by their deeds you shall know them. Look at my channel over the years. I've been consistently the same over the years, and I tell it as it is. Even if it's something, 1, you don't agree with, 2, you don't want to hear, or 3, goes against what everybody else is saying. I don't do things to become popular. I'm not here to get 5,000 different advertisers to give me a bunch of free stuff so I can just say nothing but good things to keep it rolling. I want to be honest with you guys and girls out there. All you have to do is look at my track record. Notice there's no drama coming my way. There were people that tried to manufacture it back then in my original channel, and back then I didn't know any better, and I went back and forth with stupidity. But I've always kept my integrity, and that's important to me. So let's read the greatest notes on this. For $75, 6.5 of Submariner #1, which came out in 1968. And it does say the origin of Submariner. So there is a little bit of a significance other than the fact that this is his first #1 issue since the Golden Age. It also says continued from Iron Man Submariner #1. Look how bright red that Submariner logo is. This book, I knew when I got it that this book was beautiful. It's not perfect, but I'll take a 6.5 any day, especially for that price, and I'm sure every one of you would too. But let's go over the graders' notes. Multiple minor stress lines along the spine, cover and edge wear. Browning interior cover, 4-inch corner crease on back cover. Let's see. I don't even see it. So it might be one of those things where they have to reflect it. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. No, that... Yeah, is it? No, but there is a little scratch on the case. I thought that was the crease. It's something where you cannot... It's such a light scratch that you can only see it in a certain angle of the light. It looks like a rubbing more than a scratch, actually. No big deal. You can't even... Like, I guarantee you won't even be able to see it. That's something that in the reflection in the light, it looks like a little rubbing, but I can't even see that damage. So that minor thing that they're talking about. So that's good. All right, so let's get on to the next one. So far, we're 2 for 2. All right, next one up. Got a modern book, because I can tell by the back of the book. This is Young Avengers #1. Now, I have no faith that whether they do a movie or a TV show, I have no faith in this. So one of the things I tell people when it comes to selling things, sometimes buying things you hate, if you can make money off it, is better than things that you love. The reason being is it's a lot harder to sell something you really love. And it's a lot easier to sell something that you don't give a rat's behind about. Books like this, I have zero interest in the Young Avengers. But I know that I knew back then that they were going to be doing Young Avengers, either movie or TV show. So I was going to buy these, turn around and sell them to somebody who may love them, because that does make somebody else happy. So that's the thing about a transaction. If I make the money, I'm happy. If somebody buys the book that they have always wanted for a price that they thought was reasonable, they're happy too. You want everybody happy. Businesses these days, they want themselves happy, and they can give a rat's behind about the customer. It makes no sense to me. The whole go woke, go broke, or get woke, go broke. You know, there's a reason that people use that saying. So, this book I have no attachment to. So it'll be very easy for me to sell with no seller's remorse. You know, if I was to sell even one of my Daredevil #1s, and I'm lucky enough to have 3 of them. I had, I think, either 5 or 6 at one point, but I sold a couple to be able to buy this house here in Florida. That's another reason why I tell people to get multiple copies, because then it makes it even easier to sell a book because you'll still have it. But I miss those more than I would ever even care about this book. So sometimes buying something that you don't like or you don't care about or has no meaning to you, if you can make money off it, you will have no problem selling it. So you got to think differently when it comes to investing. That's why I am very successful when it comes to making a profit off of things like this. And I want to share that with you. Notice I don't write a book that you have to buy. Notice I don't say, click on this link and you'll get the information. Or sign up to my Patreon. Most people don't even know I have a Patreon, because I make about, I think, $5 a month on my Patreon. So if you ever want to use it, you can, but there's nothing special there, because I do not believe in having to pay for something that I can tell you for free. I have the Patreon for people who say, Chris, I love your channel, I want to help support it. Here's $1. That's why I hardly even mention it. But if you're interested in that, it's in my description of this video. But I give the information freely. So, again, be careful who you attach your wagon to. I am supposedly controversial because I speak from my heart, I speak from my mind, and I do not use groupthink. I do not base my opinions on things on what other people say or do. I base it on my own experience and my own expertise from what I've done. And if you watch my videos over the years and you see my auctions, you will see, because every book I've ever unboxed, I tell you what I paid for them. So you can go back for years and see books that I've sold on auctions, how much I paid for them, how much I sold them for. And I made a profit every time. And I want to share that with you because most people just want to say what you want to hear. And that is ridiculous to me. And what is even more ridiculous is somebody like me is considered controversial because I go against the mainstream. If I'm right more than I'm wrong, then that means whether you like me or not personally, or you don't like the way I look or dress, listen to the information. That's what matters. I'm not here to try and upsell anybody. If I ever did an auction and sold this, I'm not forcing anybody to buy it. You're buying it because you want it. All right, so let's get into it because I'm on a rambling mode tonight. All right, so I said this one. I paid $40 for it. I predicted a 9.4 to a 9.8 with white pages, of course, because it's a new book. Now I see there are graders notes on the back, so this is definitely not a 9.8. But for $40, that's perfectly fine. Let's see what we got. All right, so a 9.4. So again, because of the price I paid for it, and again, because I'm basing it on not what the value of it is now, or what the value is at the time I bought it, but the value of where it's going, I did not overpay even at a 9.4. So I spent $40 on this book, probably about $45 if you include the shipping divided by 4. I'm okay with a 9.4, with, of course, white pages. So when the first trailer comes out for the either TV show or movie, that'll be the time for me to sell this book because it still has room to grow from there, especially if, oddly enough, it becomes something good, which I'm not holding my breath for. Marvel is going crazy these days with their worrying more about agendas than good stories. Again, you might have somebody that likes that kind of stuff. So don't assume a sale when a person's buying. Don't assume that somebody can't afford something or somebody's not going to like it. Just because you can't afford it or just because you don't like it doesn't mean somebody else is going to think your same way. You have to, if you want to be a good salesperson and be able to purchase things and make a profit, you cannot think, well, this is what I would do and this is what I wouldn't do. Because then you're assuming that other people are going to think the same way, especially if you're a person that surrounds yourself with yes people. The people that will be an echo chamber and tell you everything you want to hear. If you cannot have critical thinking and be able to listen to both sides, because believe it or not, sometimes you can learn from a criminal. Sometimes you can learn what not to do. That's why I tell people, listen to everyone. Because sometimes you can learn what not to do. And that's why there were times I've made videos where I said certain channels I do not agree with. I still say you should listen to them, because even if I don't like somebody or they do something wrong, doesn't mean everything they do is wrong. Anybody that thinks that somebody they like or a product they like or a company they like can do no wrong, or a company that they don't like or a person they like gets everything wrong, is a person that does not have the ability to think for themselves. And all you're doing is hurting yourself in the long run. Crazy, but most of the world does that. And they wonder why they're not successful. I am not Donald Trump. I don't have his money. I'm not Bill Gates, thank God. I don't have his money. But, as you could see with my last auction, I can make money when I need to, but I do it in a way that helps myself and it helps the person that bought the books. They don't feel cheated. They don't feel like they got screwed over. So, you want to do a balance where everybody's happy, not just you. That's important with sales, because anybody can sell somebody something once. If you screw them over, you'll never get them again. I've had people that buy from my auctions multiple times. I'm talking like 3 to 5 different times. Because when you do the right thing, regardless of what anybody else claims about you, you will always have a good reputation from the people that matter. The haters on your channel or my channel or somebody else's channel, they're going to hate you no matter what you do. They are absent. They have no ability to free think. And they just say, oh, I don't like this person. I'm going to hate them no matter what they do, no matter what they say. I'm going to be jealous and I'm going to show anger. And all that does is hurt them, because advice can be given from people you don't even like that can help you at that particular moment. If you're not smart enough to listen to all people and you just listen to an echo chamber, you better hope you've hitched your horse to the right wagon. Makes no sense to me, but again, do what you want. That's what free will is all about. All right, so we got the last book of these 4. And this is Iron Man number 7. This is a 3rd print book. I skipped on this book because the whole Riri Williams thing, just don't care about the character. But then a year after, I was like, you know what? I went through that theory of it'll be very easy to sell a comic about a character I cannot stand. I do not like her. I hate this take an established character and just either change their race or their sexual preference or their skin color and just say, here's a new character. I don't like it anymore. It was novel when they did it to, Miles Morales back in the days, or when they did it with, well, and again, even that's different, because Miles Morales, they didn't just say, well, here's Spider-Man, now he's Miles Morales. They did an alternate universe version. See, that was smart. And that's why people like Miles Morales, and he's probably going to do very well when he gets his own live-action movie. I don't think they're going to give him a TV show. It wouldn't do justice. But they didn't just say, here's a character you've loved that's been established for decades, we're just going to change it, because that's the in thing to do. This character, they just said, okay, accept that this is a new Iron Man, and if you don't accept it, you're racist and sexist and homophobic and blah, blah, blah. That, to me, is absolutely ridiculous. Now, you can love this character. I'm not here to judge you. I'm just sharing my opinion. You could agree with it. You could disagree with it. But because I care nothing about this character, and a 3rd print is going to be rarer, and for the price I paid for it, because I paid $89.95 for this 3rd print, I'm going to be selling this book because Riri Williams is coming out in the MCU. And this will be easy for me to sell with no remorse, and I'll make a nice profit, even if this is not a 9.8, but we'll see what it is, because I predicted this one to be a 9.6 to 9.8. Now, you notice a lot of times when I do the higher grade modern books, I say 9.4 to 9.8, but this one was such a clean book, I'm never going to guarantee a 9.8, but I said there's no way this is going to be a 9.4. So this is either, in my opinion, going to be a 9.6 to a 9.8, because this was a beautiful book when I bought it. The person shipped this one perfectly. So let's go and see the last book, what it comes out as. And there we go. We end on a high note. I knew, and it's got no graders notes. So they did mark that it is a third print. So good job for that. But there's a couple of first appearances. First appearance of Terrence. I don't know who that is. Oh, I'm sorry, because it's a little dark in here. The first appearance of Tomo, or Tom-O. It's T-O-M-O-E. So I don't know if it's Tomo or Tomo or, mistletoe or camel toe. But it says first appearance of Riri Williams, which I don't agree with. Every company does this. A third print cannot be the character's first appearance. It's only the first print. But every company does that. I don't understand it, but I guess it's to placate the customer. But technically, this should not be her first appearance because it's a third print. A second print is not a first appearance, but every company does it. So this is not just on PGX. CGC does it, CBCS does it, and any other grading company does it. I don't agree with it, but it is what it is. They say in cameo on the last page, Spider-Man and War Machine appearance. And that's the funny part. Some books, the cameo is worth more. Some books, it's the first full appearance. And that's why you cannot assume just because something's a cameo that it's not going to have significance. Because that is the first appearance. And that's why, for years, I've been stressing to people, like that book back there, Hulk 180. Without Hulk 180, there would be no Hulk 181. Now, of course, because Hulk is on the cover of 180, and he's in the whole book, it's going to be more desirable. But it's not his first appearance. His first full appearance. But even though in 180 it's just the last panel, that's the first time you see the character. This book, as you can see, Iron Man number 7 is Riri Williams' most popular book as far as the dollar amount, and it's just a cameo. So it's weird how it changes from comic to comic, from hero to hero. That's why I've been telling people for years, I mean, of course, if you can afford a 181, get it. But you'd be crazy not to get Hulk 180. And I backed it up because I own, I believe, between 8 and 10 copies of Hulk 180. And that's after I sold a bunch of them in auctions or doing the comic mystery boxes, which I still sell, by the way. So if you're ever interested in one of my comic mystery boxes, I haven't sold one of those in probably 2 years or 3 years. Look in the description of this video for the link. But 9.8 for that book. When I paid $89.75 or 95 cents, very happy with that. Of course, 9.8, no graders notes, so we ended on a positive note. I mean, I can't even say ended on a positive note, because even though this was a 9.4, for the price I paid for it, I'm still going to do well. I'm very happy with the 6.5 of the Submariner number 1, and definitely cannot complain for a lower grade 3.0 of Tales to Astonish number 44. Second one will be coming back sometime next month. I'm looking forward to the next 4, because the next 4 are Daredevil number 7, Silver Age, first appearance of his red costume. Another version of the Tales to Astonish number 44, because I had 2 copies. Action Comics number 27, which is actually Lois Lane's first cover appearance. To me, it's a no-brainer. I don't know why CGC claimed that Action Comics 28 was Lois Lane's first appearance, when I actually opened the book, and in the book, Superman calls her Lois Lane, and she's wearing the same hairstyle, same color, same dress as what appears on the cover of the book. I don't understand it, but I definitely made sure I indicated that so they can do the research and see it for themselves. But Action Comics number 27 is Lois Lane's, not first appearance, I wish I had that, but her first cover appearance. That has some significance. And last but not least is coming the Batman number 59 first appearance of Deathstroke, Deadshot, that was restored because it had minor color touch. But it was just somebody at the edge of two different spots. They just took a red magic marker and colored it in. So I just tore those pieces off, and I'm going to get regraded. It could still potentially be a 3.0. It might even be higher because, you know, when you have a restored book, it can lower the grade. So taking away that restoration, I mean, I'll be happy with a 3.0. I won't complain if it went down to a 2.5, but I'll be even happier if it comes back a 3.5 because removing... And again, it was just two little pieces. So it's not like I had to rip a quarter of the cover off or half the cover off. I just literally had to take two little spots where there was some red magic marker, and it's no longer restored. So even if it comes back a 2.5 unrestored, I'm going to be very happy. But it could even raise in grade, but I wanted to keep that. And again, this is what their old label used to look like. They used to put the greatest notes on top, and if it was a lot of greatest notes, it would get all mushy, it wouldn't look good. So they've definitely improved the back, and I'll show you, again, what it looks like now. So they do listen, and they do improve the quality of their books. Again, they have changed the bags that they come with. They're much improved. Cases are strong. I've never had a PGX case crack. Anybody that's ever bought from me when I ship the books, they never got them cracked. So whether you like the cases or not, they've never cracked. I've had CGC books that when we moved here, cracked just from the moving. And they were all packed away securely in their boxes with no room to move. So, you know, say what you want. I show live and I show my experience. Whether you had the same experience or not, I cannot control. But I want you to think for yourselves. Listen to everyone. Don't listen with an echo chamber thought process in mind, because whether you love somebody or not, it does not mean they do everything right, and if you hate somebody or not, doesn't mean they get everything wrong. So if you're not willing to listen to both sides and get what you can from the opinions of them, which most of it is their own opinion, and then gather your own based on all information and then think for yourself, you're never really going to succeed. Because it's like rolling dice. Every now and then you could roll the dice and the number that you wanted comes up. But if you base your life on that kind of chance, you are going to lose 10 times more than you'll ever win. So don't fall into the trap of, oh, well, you know, 2 or 3 of my books I've made good profit on. Well, if 90 of your books you cannot sell for a profit, then that wipes out any profit you've made from the 2 or 3, unless it's like Action Comics, you know, number 1 or something. So be careful. Think for yourself. Don't be afraid to expand your thought process. Do not assume that somebody you love or a company you love does no wrong and you let them get away with mistake after mistake. That's how they screw you over in the long run, because they figure, well, we can do whatever we want because people will complain, but they'll keep using them. Makes no sense to me. And also remember, even a company that can be the best company in the world can make a mistake. It's what they do with it that tells what type of company they are. I have had books that I did not agree with the grades from PGX. Of the 5 years of 4 books every month, I would say about 5 or 6 books in total, I did not agree with the grades. And I've even sent some back. They had no problem with it. I explained the situation. They regraded them. Mistakes happen. If you think your company that you love or companies you love make no mistakes, or you just give them free passes, all you're doing is hurting yourself. I don't understand it, but do whatever makes you happy. All right, so those are the 4 books. This is a long video. Some of you love that kind of format and appreciate the messages I send. Some could give 2 behinds about it. I'm here for the ones that care. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Don't forget, it's not you, it's not I, it's We Love Comics. Check in the description of this video for the discount codes. Like I said, if you send 10 or more books to PGX and use the code We Love Comics Free Press, you can get one of your books pressed for free. Depending on the book, that could be about a $20 to $30 value. That's money in your pocket instead of somebody else's. That's like buying almost 1.5 gallons of gas these days. And I do not make a commission off it. I don't get a percentage off of it. I'm just doing it because I wanted to make sure you guys get something. So I get the books pressed for free. I get them graded for free. PGX gets some advertisement, gets some free business sent their way, and you get something as well. All parties are happy. That's what makes people want to continue to do things with those kind of situations. If you deal with businesses that don't care about you, they only care about your money and will constantly screw you over, makes no sense to me. But that's why some people are in abusive or really bad and unhealthy relationships, because they don't feel worthy enough to say no or this is not right and stand up for yourself. If you choose to not do that, don't complain. Because if you don't have the ability to think differently, you're only hurting yourself. To me, that makes no sense. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate all of the people that came to watch, whether you like what I say, whether you came here to thumb it down, because I have plenty of people that still do that for some reason. I'm here for the 21 people that liked it and all the others who were interested in what I had to say that maybe forgot to hit the like button or don't want to hit the like button, because it's not about that. So thank you very much. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about these particular comics. Do you agree with the grades? Do you think I paid good prices on the books? Would you have gotten them? Leave that in the comments section. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Leave a like if you can. If you haven't, hit subscribe if you haven't. Check out some of my other videos, because many videos that I've done even 3-4 years ago talking about books you should be buying are still relevant to this day, because I was way ahead of the curve before most people even took me seriously. So some of those books that I talk about years ago still haven't reached their peak. So go check them out. Thanks for watching, have a great night, and I'll see you next video.